At some point, the kid has to learn how to do it on their own, or else then when they're on their own, they get smacked in the face.
There's a big difference in being cocky versus confident.
You can't pick to just have fun right now and then think that opportunity's still going to be there later.
Find that girl power in the Lord. And I'm watching you become a man, and you're watching me become a woman.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is the second time that we're doing this podcast together.
Yeah.
The first time, if you haven't watched it yet, go ahead and watch it. We were talking a little bit about our missions and what we were doing before we both came back to America. So now we're both here. Thank you for being here. This is Nevaeh. She's my high school sweetheart, my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And my name is Jordan. And this is the Sunshine State of Mind podcast. There's other editions of this, like Tyson and Mariah, Mom, Dad, and me, and things like that. So make sure you go and watch those. Check those out if you enjoy this one. But today, we're going to be talking about just like something that everybody has to go through at some point, and that is transitions.
We're going to talk about that awkward transition period from being a teenager into adulthood and trying to figure out your life, because the second you turn 18, or it even kind of starts in your junior year, I remember feeling the pressure of trying to figure out my entire life at that moment. I don't know if you guys have seen the B movie, but in the B movie, you have to pick a career for your entire life, and it stresses the main B out, and so he does something a little bit different. And I feel like that's what we've kind of done. It's a little bit different.
Just starting with like the mission.
Yeah.
And that's something completely different than what most people do coming out of high school.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense. I guess makes sense to the world to go leave and pause your education to go serve a volunteer mission that we don't get paid as missionaries.
Well, especially for you, because you had so many offers for sports, and everyone was so excited to see where Jordan Mills was going to go and what his next step was. And so when he announced that he was going on a mission, it was like a shock to the world that he would be giving up all of that to go serve the Lord in Hong Kong for 2 years, not knowing what the next step would be or what would happen when he came back. And it was kind of the same for me too. I have a scholarship and I was in school, and I remember calling my dad and telling him, and him being like, "You're going to stop school right now? And you have no idea where you're going to go or what you're going to do?" Yeah. That was scary. I think it can be intimidating being in this kind of age in this time period in your life, trying to figure out what the next step is and feeling the pressure of it morphing your entire life.
In Hong Kong, there's like this big test that the kids take at the end of their high school year, or like year 7. Basically, the score they get on this test decides if they go to college and if they have a good career. And it's like a high school test. So that's like a big stress for those high schoolers looking at the rest of their life. And that's a stress that every high schooler faces, I think, because these are such formative years to what your future is going to be like, and you don't want to mess it up. And I think it's like kind of hard for the parents too, because they're looking at their kid like, okay, I want to help them to make sure they don't like mess their future up, but I also don't want to put my hand in too much to like just do it for them so they don't learn how to do it on their own. Because at some point, the kid has to learn how to do it on their own, or else then when they're on their own, they get smacked in the face, which I think that's going to happen to everybody inevitably. Yeah. So a good question my mom asked is, what is something that parents can do to help like not impede that progress that is very important at that age? And like, what are some things that your parents or my parents have done that have been like frustrating to you in that process of trying to become an adult?
Well, I think it's a really hard transition, because we naturally, I think we hit 15 and we think that we know the entire world. And then our parents will forever see us as if we're little. My dad still tells me that I'm like 3 years old in his mind. Whenever he sees me, I'm like running around in diapers and tripping and falling. And so it's really hard when I present him with these ideas that I want to do, and the fact that like I was leaving for my mission and no one was changing my mind. But something that I loved from both of our parents is that they show up. And we stumble and we fall and we have great successes also. But our parents show up. And they're always there for us. Having confidence in your kid and trusting them that they're going to choose the right thing, or even if they are going to make a mistake, it's like the underlying trust of knowing your parents are going to be there for you. Mm-hmm. And I think that was the most special thing for me. And the frustrations kind of go both ways of growing up and trying to balance that and figure it out, because just as we're changing, our relationships with our parents changes too. Right before I left for my mission, I kept asking my mom for her input, but then sometimes she would give it to me and I'd be like, I don't want it. And then it was like a really hard balance of figuring that out with my mom of, I want her input, but I also want to make my own decisions. I don't know everything. I don't know anything at all, but also I do know things. Like, that's really hard and a really frustrating thing for this age.
It's helped me to know that my parents don't just want me to be successful, but they want me to be happy as well. So like there's been career choices that I've looked at, and that my parents are very invested and involved in it, and they're looking at like all the things that are like the pay and the work hours, and then also like the stresses that it can put on you. And they ultimately leave the decision up to me of what career I want to pursue, but they're helping me know like all the concerns that they have about it and all that. So that's something I'm grateful for parents. Just like make sure that you are involved and invested in your child's future, but not like overbearing. It's important to find that balance, because if you just completely withdraw, then it'll seem to your child like you don't care.
Yeah.
But if you like go opposite the other way, then it seems like you're just trying to like plan everything out for your child, and then maybe they'll appreciate that now, but in the future, whenever they have to start making their own decisions, it's going to be a lot harder for them.
There's a big difference in being cocky versus confident. I think that we should be super confident in the decisions that we're making and going after our dreams and aspirations, because as much as this time is stressful, it is a pivotal time in our lives, and the opportunities are endless. And so we have to be confident, because everything is a learning experience. And if we fall, we have to get right back up. That's the motion of life. But there's a difference, and a lot of people that had that drive, they will end up unsuccessful when they become overly cocky. And they think that they know everything in the world, rather than being confident and this is what I want, but being okay with falling sometimes and getting back up on that path. And so we're learning that too. Yeah. Everyone's learning that. And so that's the advice for the kids that are growing. What is the best thing that you think you've done as an adult? And what is your biggest mistake that you feel like you've done as an adult?
In my young adulthood, I've been an adult for a little bit. The best thing I feel like has been making a choice to serve a mission. That quick decision, like when I was young, because it taught me so many lessons about living on my own, but also not on my own. Like I have a good support system there. Like people are ready to help me, but it taught me about like budgeting, how to cook for myself. It's funny because when I was on a mission, like the few times I was buying groceries, I would buy like snacks and like ramen noodles. But then when I moved out, like I started thinking like, okay, I need to add variety to my
you need milk in there, you need some protein, you need to actually survive.
So I tried to make like some chicken and stuff like that, but then I didn't buy spices. So now I'm eating unseasoned chicken, and I'm just like, sticking to the pan because I didn't buy oil, I didn't buy butter or anything. It helped me learn that there's a lot more to than what we think there is. Yeah,
and your mission, we're going to talk about it forever, because it changes your life so fast, and not just what you're doing every day, but like the little things. Puts you in adulthood, but you also have like a safety net of the fact that you're serving a mission. But you get to experience all these experiences as an adult, learning how to cook seasoned chicken, but managing your time, and just the priceless principles that could take years for us to learn. I'll forever be in debt to my mission. That was a crazy experience.
For the worst thing, I was like 18 my senior year of high school, and so I was adult, but my mom put me in charge of applying for some like local scholarships that I could apply for and get just extra money. And I put off the applying. I put it off. I was like, okay, I'll do it later. And then I ended up not doing it. So I lost the opportunity for that scholarship. So that just showed me like the dangers of procrastination, because it wasn't like a homework thing, and it wasn't like it wasn't in my face like with the deadline. I just kept pushing it off because it wasn't my top priority right then. But then I lost an opportunity to earn some money from a scholarship that way, and so that just taught me a lesson on like not putting things off. You can't pick to just have fun right now and then think that opportunity is still going to be there later. And I think that can apply for a lot of things. So that was probably the worst thing so far. I've had a lot of adult experience.
Your 2 years.
My 2 years.
That's so funny.
But what about you?
It's a learning experience, so nothing is a regret, but something that I've definitely learned from being an adult is the importance of having plans for every goal. Because you're fresh out of high school, you have all these goals, you want to conquer the world, And you hear all the time that the world is at your fingertips, that the opportunities are endless. But it's so important to have these plans behind it, because that's a principle that people learn later in life, and then they have a whole bunch of regrets, like, I didn't reach my potential. But it's because you have all of these goals without plans. And so, again, learned it from my mission. I can have these dreams that are sky high, but I need to have plans to back it up. I need to be able to stand on it. The biggest thing that I have learned in my adulthood is the importance of my relationship with the Lord. That has bled into every aspect of my life. That has given me living blessings in my family and my blessing of you. That's been my favorite part of adulthood. I was baptized when I was 18, and so I was an adult, and I've just seen the importance of learning who you are through the Lord. Because we're all on this like self-discovery journey, and girls especially hear it a lot, of figuring out who you are and don't let a man tell you what to do and like girl power. And I'm all for it, but find that girl power in the Lord. Let him tell you what to do, because that's when your life will change. And mine has. We are high school sweethearts, and so we've been able to have this transition out of high school together. And we're choosing to do it young together and grow together. And so we get to watch each other stumble and fall, and we also pick each other right back up. And I'm watching you become a man, and you're watching me become a woman. And so what has been your favorite part of that?
I knew that you were determined when I first met you, based on your personality and the things you did, but I've seen that determination grow, and then, like you said, adding the plans to it. Like, I see you set these high goals, and then not just like letting that goal be a dream, but making it a reality through like just like action and going and getting it done, and not letting people tell you like no to what you want to do.
Yeah.
So I love that you know what you want, and you make sure that that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And you try everything to get there. Like, you're not gonna give up on something just because it's hard.
Yeah.
So I love that.
That's something that I've definitely learned from being with you and around your family. They achieve the most amazing goals and dreams and their aspirations for everyone. And you've been an inspiring hand in my goal setting and my dreams in my life. And I've loved watching you continue to grow into a man and learning who you are and expressing your heart with the world, because he's so amazing. And he helped change my life and the lives of my family so fast too. And it's been amazing watching you express that with everyone, because he's incredible. And I wouldn't be doing it young with someone if they weren't. You are so incredible. And so that's been one of my favorite parts of adulthood too, is doing it with Jordan. And I don't know, everyone has an opinion about doing things young and figuring it out, but that's also one of the best parts of adulthood, is that you have the choice, and we get to be confident in that. And so we have loved being able to talk about this with all of you, having the opportunity to touch on adulthood and that awkward transition that can also be so liberating. Let us know some of the funny stories that you might have from transitioning to adulthood. I know, like, the first time I ate undercooked chicken that I made. Wow. It was bad. Did we learn? Are you going to make that for me? We learned. We had to learn. So just let us know about what you think about transitions as parents or as high schoolers coming up to make that transition. Everybody is in a different walk of life right now. So just let us know what you think about that and what you're going through. And we love all of you so much. We do. And we're so excited to have these discussions with you. We are. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Spread sunshine. Spread sunshine. Hey, where's the kiss?